What's going on, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit them notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. Now, a fan was basically being disrespectful as they always do, and tried to come at Charles Barkley, who never been known to shy away from trash talking or even being ruthless himself. And Charles Barkley just pretty much he came. The fan came at him and he said, "If you don't shut up, I'm gonna come to your house and f your mama." Just basically that's what he said. He said he was gonna lay the pipe to that fan's mom. And I had to talk about this because that just goes to show you like the era in which Charles Barkley, had played in as a player, because you got to think Charles Barkley had came in the '80s and when he played, and so he played in the '80s and well into the '90s, and you had to be really mentally strong. Not only physically strong, yeah, we get all that, be athletic, all that, work out, but you had to be mentally tough, and you also had to have real thick skin in order to be able to take some of the stuff that was being said to you. And Charles Barkley, he could take it, but he could also dish it out too. Listen, man, a lot of fans, man, they say a lot of disrespectful things, man, and and I think like you know, some of the fans, they deserve a little taste of their own medicine. Like the dude that put hands on Chris Paul's mom and wife and everything like that. Oh yeah, that right there. That's when it's a need to get physical. That's when the need. Some of the fans do need to be, need their ass whooped. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, but in this case, I'm glad he served them a dose of their own medicine. Now we're gonna have to see what happens with the networks and everything like that, because it's gonna go viral. TNT is probably going to have Charles Barkley uh, issue out a statement, or you know, it's a wonder that it's a good thing he wasn't on CBS, because he does the college games and everything, and they wouldn't put up with that. But I mean, look, I'm not. I, a lot of stuff that Charles Barkley says, you know, is it can be buck dancing in terms of his views politically. You know, Charles Barkley has been seen as a coon. He's been seen as a buck dancer. He's been seen as a shucking and a jiving. Let's just call it what it is. Um, However, there are some things that I do agree with in terms of how his outlook in terms of basketball. He's never been the one to shy away from his opinion, and it even cost him, his friendship with Michael Jordan. He had to come on the air and say some things, and Michael Jordan didn't take a liking to it, and to this day, they haven't spoken. So it's things like that. So he's a strong-headed individual. But see, a lot of these fans, man, they really be asking for it. You know, uh, I've been to games. You know, I've been to games, and some of the stuff that these people say is well beyond. Like I can remember a time when, and this was this was when I actually was playing that, you know, one of the players had to be restrained from actually going off on the guy because the guy just would not stop. You know what I'm saying? Now the officers, they had gave the guy a warning or whatever, and they told him to, you know, to shut up and everything. But you know, some of the stuff that these people say, in terms of violating these people's, uh, personal, uh, personal well-being, saying stuff about them that's disrespectful. They might have researched you and brought up a past thing that really nobody really knows about or whatever, and it's been kept a secret or something, and they're shouting it out and everything. So, fans be asking for it, and I don't blame Charles Barkley for saying what he said. You know, I mean, who knows? That guy could have been. Cause what's up with it, Alex? I see you in the building. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of lunatics that fly around just to follow that particular player or ex player or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the commentators, like Shaquille O'Neal, EJ, and of course Kenny Smith and Shaq and them. There's people out there that they might have not liked you as a fan, and when you actually played the sport, and now that you're commentating and everything, now they want to try to come at you in any type of way. Some people don't have, like I said, I've talked about this before. Some people don't have no lives. All they want to do is they want to say, they think that they could say or do anything to these guys. Man, listen, these guys aren't going to just sit there and just let you say anything to them. And so I already know, what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to, make a big deal out of it and everything. But I mean, I've heard worse. What if he? Nah, I ain't gonna go there. This is YouTube. But you know, that just goes to show you, man, you can't talk to everybody like that, and you can't just sit there and just think that you're just gonna say any type of, trash talk and just think that they're gonna just let that ride. They're gonna some of these guys are gonna want to catch the fade with you too. And a lot of these guys like to get a rise out of some of these figures, man, these figureheads. You know what I'm saying? These guys that used to play and stuff like that. They want to see them get angry. They want to see them just act erratic and crazy, just so that they can have their 5 minutes to fame or something like that. Some of these guys wouldn't mind getting slapped by one of them just so that they could say, "Oh man, I I got him to slap me," or just so that they could get a payday, of course, because that's all they want to do. But trash talk. See, a lot of people, they talk trash and they talk head or whatever. They roast and everything. But see, when the joke is on them, they can't handle it. They can't handle it. They want to sit there and they want to try to play the victim, or they'll say, "Oh well, how could Charles Barkley do that?" or "How could he say that?" Well, do you not know the stuff that's being said to him? And look, like I said, I don't agree with what everything that Charles Barkley says and does. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna keep running your mouth and you're gonna say all disrespectful stuff to me and personal, I gotta keep my professionalism. It's only so much that one can take, and let's not forget, man. Charles Barkley uh, has been known to get into it with people that step out of line. Let's just be honest. What's up with it, Jason Murphy? I see you in the building. some of these people some of these people think that they can say anything or do anything, and they could just talk about a person's personal the people, that are around them, like their family members and stuff like that. And then when they say it to you, then they want to, oh my God, nah, I'm not doing none of that. He probably deserved it. And this was probably a motherfucker that was sitting up there doing this type of shit like constantly. But Charles Barkley said he had enough. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Like these players, not only the players, but the former players and stuff like that, they still get talked about to this day. Man, can you imagine the type of stuff that they constantly say about a guy like LeBron and his, you know, his looks in terms of, his features and stuff like that? Because I'm not gonna give it power because that's what people want to do and stuff like that. But see, when he comes at you or he says something derogatory towards you, anything, nah, you can't sit up there and be like, oh, you know what, man? He said this about me and try to play the victim or anything like that. You got to keep that same energy. You got to keep that same energy. And I'm glad Chuck came at him like that. Some of these fans, they need to be, so now he'll know you can't just talk to everybody like that. you know. And I know some people get up on here and they expect me to be like, oh well, Polo man, come on man, that was his mom and all this other stuff. And there's people out here threatening to kill, people and the people they love and stuff like that, or saying that, like the stupid ass Karen that was on the side of the court, saying that stuff that she said about LeBron James' family. What's up with it, Kev Cook? I'm not feeling no sympathy for that. I'm not feeling no sympathy for that. I'm surprised he didn't go even further and get even more descriptive. But you gotta think, man, this is a Charles Barkley, guys like Charles Barkley, mainly Charles Barkley, man. He was one of the ones that the media uh they loved and hated, but they absolutely loved him because they know that controversy sells. Charles Barkley was one of the, I think he was one of the ones I felt that made controversy really, really sell. If you really want to be honest, there was a few others that I could go back and I could think of, but Charles Barkley would be the ones that would he would be sitting there, cursing throughout the whole entire interview and stuff, and they would, bleep it out and everything like that. Man, he was ruthless. He was ruthless, as opposed to like, MJ. He kept his professionalism, but we all know behind the scenes, MJ was an asshole. We all know that. But I'm glad he said what he said. That shit doesn't bother me at all. Because here's my thing, right? If you're sitting there and you're talking about that guy's family, you're talking about that guy's look, and he's just trying to do his job and everything. He's trying to keep his professionalism. Then okay, there's only so much that I'm gonna be able to take. I'm pretty sure that's what he told his boss. I'm pretty sure all of the bosses understand. What's up with it, True Viking? I'm pretty sure all of his bosses, they understand, but they don't want their networks to look bad or anything like that. Well, tell the motherfuckers to get up out of there. Tell them to leave. It not only happens to athletes, it happens to celebrities, it happens to you know artists, like hip hop artists, every type of genre of music that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's better for him to say that, right, than to sit up there and pick up something and throw it at the fan, or actually get up in the crowd and actually choke the shit out of that fan. Now, for those of y'all that don't know either, man, I was I was upset at Charles Barkley for a long time too, because he didn't. Man, that man didn't even shake my hand, bruh. Like, but no, I wasn't really tripping about it. But he missed me, and he shook the girl's hand that I was with at that time, and it was at an All-Star game or whatever. So I was like, man, and she didn't even know who he really was. She was just like, who is that? And I had to explain it. I was like, that's Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? That's a Hall of Famer. That's one of the greatest players to ever play. But see, all of that goes out of the window. All of that Hall of Fame basketball stuff, that shit go out of the window when you start being disrespectful, because it's, man, everything that you can imagine that a fan will say and that a person will say nowadays, you won't be surprised, because that's evident as to what you see, what's going online, what goes on online right now. Like, whether it's people that troll in here on YouTube, whether it's people getting on social media, on Twitter, or on Twitch, or Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Or stuff like that. You see some of the comments and stuff like that, or IG or something, and they say some of the stuff, like, you'll be like, man, like, who fucking raised you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, who were you around? Because that's who you really should check. Now I don't know exactly what was said, but I'm quite sure for it may have been something that bad for him to actually come out and say that he gonna come to the house and he gonna fuck his mom. Like, it must have been that bad. And some fans, they want to take it there, or fanatics, or hecklers, or trolls. So no, I'm not mad at Charles Barkley at all. But now we got to see what's going to take place. Of course, people going to try to make a big deal out of it and stuff like that. And people going to be like, well, how could you do that and all this other bullshit? Well, how could a motherfucker walk up in a grocery store and shoot up everybody? That's what I'm going to ask. You know, this society's crazy. But man, that man speaks his mind. That man, that man says something. It. And a lot of people, they look at it like, okay, this is just words. It wasn't no actions by the words, and some people might be offended by this. You know what I'm saying? But me, not offended by it, because I mean, some of these fans, they say the most reckless shit. They say the most reckless shit. Can you imagine what they saying to some of these other guys that are playing? That's why, like, you know, uh, Russell Westbrook, he's got, he was demonized and stuff, for the stuff, but then also you have to look at some of the people that were making threats towards his wife and towards his family, even when it comes to Danny Green, and you know, like, these people that walk and go to these home games and stuff like that. People do some reckless shit, man, because they don't have a life, and they don't like a person that much, just so that they can go ahead and they could try to get to that particular athlete. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Leave your comments, like the video, share it, subscribe. Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. I'll get at you later.